Never give up. Once upon a time, there was a person who, although no one had taught him, was tormented by life's encounters, tormented by worldly affairs, and personal and self-righteousness, causing him to be extremely troubled and having thoughts as follows: a human being lost in this mortal world, what does he get in the end? In the vast universe, humans are as small as a grain of sand in the Ganges River, yet all day long the mind is only used in competing or deceiving external lies, until the last moment of life brings with it what do you get? Does a human life like that have any meaning? He thought about the life of monks, those who work for sentient beings, how noble such a life is. Those who practice at least are not troubled by worldly affairs. And moreover, they can attain the holy fruit of liberation in the future. Thinking of this, he left his family to become a monk. This monk studied diligently from dawn to dusk, not daring to relax for a moment. Just remembering his previous life and the sainthood he aimed for in the future was enough to motivate him to diligently study the religion. But years and months have passed and he still hasn't attained any fruition. Is it possible that with such profound practice, it's still not on the right path? The more he thought about it, the more afraid he became. Perhaps he had gone astray or was being destroyed by demons. Oh! I'd rather return home and become an ordinary person. Why bother practicing like this? He decided to prepare to go home and then suddenly hesitated. Success or failure can sometimes be determined in just a single thought. If you leave it behind, the past few years of hard study of the Dharma will be lost in the sea, the hope of enlightenment will be lost forever. But if I regain my spirit to continue my spiritual path, who knows if I can achieve it one day? While the thoughts of whether he should go or stay like that were spinning in his head, a tree god in the mountain saw this and felt touched, because in his previous life he had a predestined relationship with him. The tree spirit was very worried about him, knowing that if he returned, he would forever float in the vast sea of life and death. The tree spirit then used some magical powers to challenge him. Maybe he could turn his will and help him achieve his karma. The tree spirit then transformed into a beautiful bhikkhuni, elegantly dressed, full of jewels, and strutted in front of the monk. Seeing this, the monk could not stand it, so he turned serious and scolded him, "You are a bhikkhuni. A monk, why do you wear secular clothes? Why do you pretend to be quiet to blind others?" The bhikshu nun replied, "What does that have to do with anything? Clothes and jewelry are just illusions, makeup is just color, so what is there to be attached to? Everything is fake. Isn't your own body the same? Before our eyes, we see youth and good health, but once impermanence comes and the land, water, fire, and wind have dispersed, where is the owner of that body? Formless, true form, true nature is inherently unborn and immortal. Knowing clearly that the original dharmas are like that, how difficult is it to attain enlightenment? A person living in this world is like the moon in the sky, alone. Alone, coming alone and going alone, not bringing anything on his body and not having anything on his body when going away. There is nothing that truly belongs to you. Stupid beings, in illusory and unreal situations, become so attached and infatuated that they bind themselves to them. It is not the realm that fascinates people, but it is people who immerse themselves in the realm. It is not afflictions that bind people, but it is humans who find afflictions to bind themselves to. Because of delusion, he craves illusory and unreal objects, so his whole life is like a dream. Like being drunk, like being delusional, and day and night he resents heaven and hates people. They do not understand that suffering is not something inherent, but is caused by their own negative karma. Living beings are pitiful. They accidentally create a few good causes, attract a few blessings, and then become complacent without understanding that the blessings are only temporary. Once you taste the false appearance of the world and become attached to it, you will find it very difficult for happiness to follow you forever. On the contrary, disaster is like a shadow following a shape, not leaving for a second or a moment. If you want to seek eternal happiness and freedom, you must understand the problem of life and death. And must forever separate from desire and creation. In the three worlds, of course there are also people who receive a lot of blessings in heaven, but these people also have a time when they enjoy all the blessings and must fall into hell. Buddha's Dharma said, people in the family are like sitting in a prison, and the highest heaven of the three realms is just like a prison. Only the non-outflow learning that the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas have learned, that is, contemplating the emptiness of all dharmas, and stopping the distorted view that there is a difference between ourselves and others, is the only a realm of eternal peace and happiness. The Bhikshu nun spoke endlessly for a while. Like a bucket of clean water pouring into the monk's mind. He carefully considered the meaning of each new sentence he heard. That's right, the false appearance is inherently created by the harmony of the four great elements. Because living beings are so infatuated with this false appearance, they harm themselves. When enlightened that the nature of Dharma is inherently empty, a person living in this world is like a tourist going to another country, then looking at the sentient beings in the 10 directions, it really cannot be said to have a body or a body. Thanks to that, the monk's soul becomes open, letting go of all obstacles. His original will become solid again. He studied diligently and later attained great freedom.
Thank you for spending your valuable time on my channel journey to enlightenment. Wishing you a very peaceful and happy day. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my support channel. See you in the next video.